Kembali lagi di Prime Words, masih bersama saya Duta Besar Ukraina untuk Indonesia Vasyl Hamianin. Talking about the peace negotiation, we know that are taking place in Turkey now, and then is there a plan for the president of Ukraine and Russia to meet face to face and then discuss the solution to the conflicts between the two of countries?
I'm not in the position to comment on the results or the essence of the negotiations. I can just express my personal point of view, and my personal point of view on the negotiation is that taking into account the actions of Russia in Ukraine, I would not see any chance for the negotiations to be successful, because while negotiating, Russia is keeping on killing civilians, shelling the cities, blocking Mariupol without water, without food, without any aid or any humanitarian assistance. So they're committing crimes against humanity the very moment the negotiations are underway. How can the murderer, killing people, at the same time talking about peace? I mean, the one and only demand of Ukraine for these negotiations is stop fighting, stop killing people, stop bombing our cities, and then there would be a starting point for peace negotiations. I think it's very clear. You cannot fight and talk at the same time. And we did not start this war. It's Putin who attacked us. It's Russia who attacked us. We didn't commit any crimes against Russian people. We just defend our land. The war is in our land, and I think the one who started it should stop or take a pause if he wants, in order to have negotiations, right?
Yeah, talking about G20, we know Indonesia has mandated as the G20 presidency in 2022. What are your hopes for Indonesia in responding to the Ukraine-Russia war to the big forum?
I hope that every nation, every democratic nation in the world now would stand up and strictly condemn the Russian aggression, condemn the fascist regime of Vladimir Putin, and impose as many sanctions impose as many sanctions and limitations to the Russian Federation, to the Russian aggressor, as possible. This is crucial to stop the war. I repeat, we don't ask for the sanctions for the sake of sanctions. It's not the sanctions that will make Russia, in order to humiliate Russia or something. It's the sanctions that can prevent Russia from producing more weapons, more ammunition, more missiles that next day will come to Ukraine and kill the civilians. That's what about sanctions. That's why G20 is the very authoritative and powerful gathering, powerful platform of international economic and political leaders of the world, is having all the powers to speed up the end of this aggression. I would not even call it a war. It's aggression or invasion or something like this. Why is that? I repeat, first one is economic levers, economic pressure on Russia to avoid producing weapons. Second is a political pressure, of course, because the platform is, it's most authoritative gathering of the leaders, right? Representing all the continents, representing all the nation, all the continents, all the regions. You'll cut this out. Third one is, I think that taking it into account that I mentioned it already, that on the bilateral level, I won't see any real opportunity, any chance for the bilateral negotiations to succeed, because Putin will never come to anywhere to participate in any bilateral negotiations with Vladimir Zelensky, our president. For many reasons. I would not explain this. This is very personal. We understand this. How can he talk with the president of non-existent state? State has no right to exist. But we have other platforms that can be efficient, very efficient. And one of the platforms, for example, like United Nations, can it be efficient? No, because the aggressor is the permanent member of the Security Council. Yeah. And he has veto right, and he vetoes everything related to this war. So obviously UN, no. What else? Only G20. Because G20, it's like free gathering. It's not alliance. It's not like United Nations. It's free gathering of the leaders. And they can anytime, at any moment, just call upon the sort of extraordinary session, extraordinary summit of G20 with only one question: how to stop the war in Ukraine. Because the war in Ukraine, I repeat, and I will repeat it again and again, it's not the war of Russia against Ukraine. It's the attack of neo-colonialism against democracy. And it concerns everyone in the world. And it will have the huge consequences for the whole world in all terms: peace and stability, food security, energy security, everything. So G20 might be the real platform to hold the real negotiations between Ukraine and Russia with the participants of all G20 members. That might be a great platform, but someone should initiate it.
Talking about the sanction, especially in economic sanction and then political sanction, many countries give for Russia. Do you see the sanction have a pressure and impacting to Russia?
The sanctions have very direct and very efficient impact into Russia. Putin, as a old KGB and all like communist, and the man who was grown up in the Soviet Union, he understands only one language, a language of strength, a language of force. In the history of modern Russia, of last 20 years, when he became the president, since he became a president, no single word he would listen to if it is not confirmed by the force, by the real strength of the opponent. He doesn't understand the language of morality. He doesn't understand the language of logic, of whatever, consequences for the world, peace and security. No, he does not understand this language. So the sanctions and the resistance of Ukrainian army are the only languages he can understand. That's one part. And second part, I really think that, as I mentioned, the sanctions are not against Russia. Sanctions are against military part of Russian economy. It's about putting the end to producing the weapons, the ammunition, the missiles, and all the stuff. It's main purpose of the sanctions. So it's obvious. And I really don't understand why so many democracies in the world didn't impose any sanctions yet on Russia. This is a surprise for me, really. I mean, everything just mention anything. Too many things are destroyed. Industrials, residential houses, roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, many things, and many people already killed. And, damages are huge.